We will now begin the City of Boynton Beach City Commissioners meeting today, Tuesday, November 20th, 2018 at 6:30 p.m. Would everyone please rise for the invocation by Commissioner McCray, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by the Vice Mayor.
Let us bow to the Creator Maker of all mankind. Father, here we are once more again, asking for your guidance, but most of all, asking that you continue to lead us in the way that we should go as we make decisions for this great city, the city of Boynton Beach. As we celebrate the Thanksgiving season, we ask that you remind us of the things that we take for granted, like a right to breathe, fresh water, but most of all, a right to assemble. And if anyone is traveling away from this city, give them traveling grace and mercy until they return. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Mayor Stephen Grant.
Here.
Vice Mayor Christina Ramos.
Present.
Commissioner Justin Katz.
Absent.
Commissioner Mac McCray.
Here.
District 4 seat is vacant, so a quorum is present.
All right, thank you very much. Excuse me, everyone. Would you please take your seat and stop talking? And if I can remind everyone to silence their phones. Thank you. We're moving on to the agenda approval. I would like to move items 2B and C to new business.
Yes.
I have some additions.
Yes.
I'd like to place on the agenda and the announcements, the food drive by the library will be the first one. The second one, I'd like for the city to announce the partnership with Fair Housing of Palm Beach County. And also, I don't see it on here, but I'd like for someone to speak about December the 3rd. The Police Chief Gregory first meeting over at the Carolyn Sims Center. Those three items I'd like to have added.
All right. And I'd like to add one more announcement of the Garden Club. And we'll get to future agenda when we're there. Okay. May I have a motion to approve as amended?
Second.
All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Seeing none, agenda is approved unanimously. Moving on to informational items by members of the City Commission. Commissioner McCray, would you like to begin?
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say that the Chief Gregory and I, we met with Village Royale on the Green, I'm just saying last week, had an excellent meeting, and it's a partnership that we have developed with the Village Royale on the Green that we hope and we will continue as long as I'm there. I'm just saying because they are in District 2, not that I'm picking on District 2 tonight again, but they are a group that does a lot for this city that needs to be recognized. Also, Veterans Day celebration on Sunday. I attended that celebration, and I was glad that I did go because I'm just saying everybody else has something to do, but I represented, I think, the city quite well. I was the only elected official there. But when I was looking out over the audience before we started, this individual came up to me, and he smiled, and he said, "Hey, you." And I jumped up, and it was Jeff Livergood. I was absolutely excited. Long overdue. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And thank you for attending the Veterans Day event. Vice Mayor?
Good evening, everyone. I would simply just like to commend some historic events that happened today. First and foremost, we now have the mayor of Palm Beach County has been elected by the board, which is Mayor Mac Bernard. I would like to congratulate him publicly. In addition, we also have David Kerner, who is our new vice mayor for Palm Beach County. Also want to just give a time of deference to all of our newly elected state legislatures, especially one of them who is our former board member here. They have all been sworn in today, so congratulations to all those individuals who will be representing us up in Tallahassee and doing good work for our state, we hope. So with that, I am done. Thank you.
I would also like to echo the newly elected, both the state cabinet, the state senate, and all the new county and local positions available. Look forward to working. Boynton Beach looks forward to working with all of them. As I was gone last meeting at the National League of Cities, I do have a few bit of informational items to report. On October 18th, I attended the Transportation Planning Agency's meeting and attended the Volin Center over in Boca Raton. And then on October 19th, I have sad news that my dog Daisy, who I like to refer to as my first lady, passed away, and it was very sad. She went on her own, and she's going to be missed greatly. On October 2nd, I met with Don Collins from Discover the Palm Beaches, where I stated that Boynton Beach isn't trying to compete with Boca and West Palm or Delray regarding the 3 to 5 visit tourists, but we're trying to get the 7 to 14-day visit tourists, where we want extended stay of tourism here in Boynton Beach because of all the great things that we have going on. On October 24th, I attended the FRA conference, which stands for Florida Redevelopment Agent Association conference at Fort Myers. And on the 25th, I was a part of the keynote panelists talking about all the different housing that is going on in Boynton Beach. On October 27th and 28th, I attended the Pirate Fest and also came in, won the Bill Tomei golf tournament for the civilians. On October 9th, I met with Memorial Healthcare System, who is opening up a new hospital in Wellington. You may know of them as the Joe DiMaggio's Children's Center. I also met with Connect to Greatness. I'd like to have a shout out for Texas Roadhouse for hosting our Tip a Cop and for donating a portion of their proceeds to the police department. And I also attended the South Central Regional Wastewater Treatment Board. On October 30th, I attended the Discover the Palm Beaches annual event and went to tour the new Venture X over in West Palm Beach. And I look forward for Boynton Beach having more co-working space. On October 31st, I attended the community greening tour over in Delray, and I'd like to, have this come back as maybe a future agenda item, how we can get some more trees planted in Boynton Beach. Then I had a discussion with Rebecca Harvey and Colin Groff regarding our Green Business Program and attended the Special City Commission meeting. On November 6th, I left for the National League of Cities, and while I was there in Los Angeles, I took a tour of the port of Los Angeles, which is the largest port in the country, and looked at their new Blue Jobs Incubator. With Los Angeles always being that oil town that it was, they've had all these old buildings that they are rehabbing, and so one of their first warehouses over at the port is now their Blue Job Incubator, where they're learning and allowing new businesses to do aquaculture and robotics. I also went to their Green Job Incubator over at the utility building. The utility building repurposed a 60,000 square foot building, and so that allowed, and they only needed 15,000 square feet worth of space. So with the partnership of the city, they were able to lease out the remaining space to an incubator. I met with Mayor Eric Garcetti in his mayor's mansion. So there are 4 mayor's mansions in this country. We have Los Angeles, Denver, Detroit, and New York, and maybe Boynton Beach will be the 5th. Who knows? That was a joke. That was a joke.
That was a nice joke.
Next is I attended some great classes there, ensuring equity in the workforce, and they had a wonderful redlining display that talked about how because of our government's policies, we have disadvantaged people of color from owning homes and building wealth in this country after World War II. And when I came back on November 13th, I attended the End Homeless Breakfast at with the Lord's Place. I attended the Healthier Boynton Beach 2nd Annual Caregiver event, and I'd like to commend Ricky Petty for the wonderful job that he's doing with Healthier Boynton Beach and making sure that all the caregivers in Boynton Beach know that there are resources available to them so that they don't have to carry the load all themselves. On November 15th, I attended the South Tech Summit, and it was amazing to see what South Tech is doing. We will have them for one more year as they plan to leave to go to Odyssey in the unincorporated Boynton Beach in 2020. I had a meeting with an Opportunity Zone Fund manager. And I'd like to thank David Scott for all the work that he has done getting the 2 census districts of Boynton Beach in the Opportunity Zone. I'd also like the commission, if we can have a special meeting for all the different business and residential property owners to let them know of the new investment vehicles available to them if they were looking to sell their property. That evening, I attended the demolition of City Hall over at the Children's Schoolhouse Museum, and I'd like to thank Colin Groff for putting up a wonderful party, along with Eleanor Crisell for hosting. And then I attended the Jurist of the Year Award for the Palm Beach County Trial Justice Association, where they awarded it to Justice Barbara Parente, who is on the Florida Supreme Court, that is no longer able to serve because of her age, which fortunately for us is that it will not be an issue moving forward as we extended the age of judges. And the good news is she'll be coming back to Palm Beach County to help work with legal aid. Last Friday, I attended the first annual Career Awareness Day over at the Boynton Beach High School, or Community High School. I thought that Dr. Lockhart had a great idea of making sure that all of their seniors had knowledge of what was going on after they graduated. I also encouraged them to come to the City Commission meeting and to ask us if they ever wanted to for jobs for the summer. And so I'd like to see what we can do to help open internships to our local high school. On the 17th, I attended the Caradat event over on Boynton Beach Boulevard in unincorporated Boynton Beach and saw all of the great work that they are doing, and really are a partner with the city, providing almost providing care to all people. Yesterday, I attended Steve Abrams' farewell party and congratulated him on his new job as the South Florida Regional Transit Association Executive Director, and spoke to him about improving our Tri-Rail station over off of Gateway. And today, I was over at Pure Age, who hosted the Hat Foundation, HATT, and as they were handing out over 2,000 turkeys for this Thanksgiving. And this afternoon, I attended a meeting with a young student from Oxbridge Academy that created empirical evidence of the damages and dangers that are causing to our society from septic systems. He was able to determine that because of the trace elements of ibuprofen in our waters, that the increased level of nitrogen is coming from the septic systems, and hopefully our new state representative will create legislation that will force homeowners to move away from septic systems. And that is it for the past month. Is there any other informational items from the commission?
Mayor, you mentioned having a meeting with our local business owners regarding the options that are available to them. I remember we did briefly talk about this at our CRA meeting. I would like, if possible, for either you to get together with David Scott or members of staff to bring forward some type of presentation to bring us all up to speed on what you've learned, and that way we're all on the same page.
All right, so absolutely. Is there any other informational items? Seeing none, we're moving on to announcements. Our first announcement is a presentation by Joe Russo, founder of the 1909. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Council people. My name is Joe Russo. I'm the Executive Director of a group called the Palm Beach Tech Association, as well as a new initiative called 1909. We had a chance to present briefly a couple meetings ago, but was asked to come and give a more thorough presentation, which I will be doing so here today. So thank you for having me. So Palm Beach County was founded in the year 1909, believe it or not, and we currently believe that no matter who you are or what you do, anyone can be the founder of something great in Palm Beach County today. So we are forming a new nonprofit dedicated to Palm Beach County's exponential growth in startup businesses, the creative industries, and our own cultural significance. Simply enough, whatever you want to start, now is the time, and we're here to help you turn those ideas into a reality. We started out working with the Business Development Board's Entrepreneur Task Force to identify 4 real key gaps: affordable workspace, consistent mentorship, business education, and access to capital. All this looking at the Kauffman Foundation's index, looking at entrepreneurial activity throughout the country, and realizing South Florida is actually #1, pretty handedly so, in startup activity of any metropolitan region in the United States today. So that considered, we put together a program focused on 3 main areas: co-working, mentorship, and acceleration. And that's really the crust of my presentation here today. Most importantly, somewhat most importantly, my headshot's missing there. But we have a stellar team that goes into putting this all together. Most importantly, with the exception of Monty, our happiness director, we are all entrepreneurs ourselves. Myself, Danielle, Jared, and Ryan have all started our own businesses and ventures here before, and we're putting our heads together to be able to develop this. These are our partners currently. We hope to have the city of Boynton Beach there as among those. But this is really a key partnership between the Palm Beach Tech Association and Florida Atlantic University Adams Center for Entrepreneurship. And I'm happy to also present that the Knight Foundation is granting us $250,000 for this project on top of the city governments and the partners that are a part of this that I'll dive into in a little bit. So first of all is co-working. So Palm Beach Tech 2 years ago got a $100,000 grant from the Knight Foundation, as well as some other dollars from cities and private investors. And we took that dollars and put together a organization called the Palm Beach Tech Space. These are some older numbers, but we just this past month moved into a new space. Those are some photos of it in downtown West Palm Beach. From an affordable workspace model, we offer a membership that is $50, 24/7 access for free space, coffee, conference rooms, everything. It's the lowest price in the Southeast United States for anything like this, in part because we are a nonprofit. We do have funding from foundations and governments to help support our operations. And we are in a 1924 historic building as well. This is a quick lay of the land of it. It's about 5,000 square feet, includes 9 offices. This is something that we want to ultimately bring throughout Palm Beach County. So we have a network of current spaces and collaborative work environments throughout Palm Beach County that we work with, but we've also had the conversations of how can we bring this to other cities and communities that are desiring of this affordable workspace for entrepreneurs in their community. And it's a very simple opportunity for us to talk about it and to share that we would love to bring this concept to the city of Boynton Beach as well as throughout Palm Beach County. As well as there's an entrepreneur in West Palm Beach who might want to come back and forth between Boynton just as well. There's a lot of really cool synergies that can occur there. The second piece is mentorship. Very simply, there's a lot of really amazing people who are successful entrepreneurs, successful business people in our community. We want to take their expertise and be able to provide it to the entrepreneurs in a very, very direct fashion. Simply, you can go anywhere in any coffee shop and find somebody who is quite smart and talented and dedicated. But we're going to go and recruit mentors and also go put them through a training program coupled with a software that allows the entrepreneurs in our community to go and talk to the mentors in our community pretty seamlessly. So it's all very hands-off for us. We're going to go and make sure that we recruit the right mentors, train them up, and also offer this service to the entrepreneurs that are a part of the program. But most importantly is the accelerator piece. This is a really interesting number that we talk about, but out of all people employed in the state of Florida, I mean, 99.8% of businesses in Florida are small businesses, right? There are 2.4 million businesses in the state of Florida. So when we look at these SBA numbers and these Enterprise Florida numbers, we really start to realize small businesses matter. You know, it's great to have Fortune 500 companies in our community like we do, but at the end of the day, it's these new companies and we just heard a presentation on Friday at the BDB from Kansas City that the net new jobs of Kansas City are all from startup businesses in the past 5 years. So it's really intriguing to see the importance of this. Our accelerator is 6 months. It's in partnership developed at the FAU Adams Center for Entrepreneurship. It focuses on 2 months of curriculum and 4 months of directed mentorship, so one-on-one mentors. And it's open to anybody. It's open to people who want to start a tech startup, want to start an ice cream shop. It's really agnostic in terms of the vertical. But most importantly, it's for people who just have that idea. Maybe you've been a technology professional for a number of years but never done it in your own business. So we want to give you that business acumen to be able to support your growth. Our curriculum that we use is Co-Starters. It was developed in Chattanooga, Tennessee by a nonprofit incubator and is used by dozens of universities and nonprofits across the country. Not to belabor the point, but this is also what we hope to bring to the city of Boynton one day. But this is also on top of a micro-grant fund that we're establishing with the Knight Foundation. So they are providing a $50,000 matching grant to establish this fund. Again, apologize by the pictures not all showing up there. But this allows us to supply the people that have gone through the accelerator program with actual tangible dollars that they could utilize to help kickstart their company. So especially when it's considered people have to buy certain supplies before they sell a product, that is seemingly important. That extra $5,000 or $10,000 can really make or break a company. So these are some of the folks that we've been talking to of how we can best develop this program. It costs $25,000 to develop a 25-person cohort. It's all focused on economic development. We have KPIs that are focused on job creation, and we're also working with specific tracks. For example, the town of Lake Park wants to focus its program on music and arts. So we're working with musicians and artists who want to best develop their acumen as well. And again, these are people who are potentially taking part in this. These are people we've had discussions and meetings with. But at the end of the day, the KPIs are really what matter. How many employees do you have in a city or in a community? How many people are taking part in the support of this program? Beyond that, we're going to connect these companies with the resources in and beyond our community, including groups like FAU Tech Runway and the Business Development Board to international accelerators if they're ready for that, like Techstars or 500 Startups. So we are 1909. That is how you can follow us online. That is our website. That is our social media. Be happy to take any questions. I know this is a little bit of a mouthful, but we're really hopeful about being able to serve all of Palm Beach County through this effort. And myself as a lifelong native resident of Palm Beach County, I really look forward to what we can do in the city of Boynton Beach as well.
Thank you I was the one who requested for you to come back, so thank you for coming back and taking your time to
of course
really share with us what you guys are doing. I think it's phenomenal. What I would ask is for you to just break it down simply, what's the first step that any resident who's watching us or who's in the audience that would want to go forward would need to do to start taking advantage of what the services you're offering? What's step one? What do they need to do?
Step one is definitely go to our website, weare1909.org. We haven't formally launched and announced the organization publicly yet, so we don't have so much on there just yet. But the simple thing is sign up for our email list right now, because as we start to formalize these accelerator programs throughout the county, we're going to announce them publicly and let people know, hey, we would love for you to sign up. We would love for you to take part in this. We do have limitations, obviously, so we have to pick the top 25 companies that we're going to have an application process for that we've already developed it. It has been developed in partnership with the Florida Atlantic University Adams Center, and the program is very much based off of and in support of their program. So their director of the entrepreneurial program is also overseeing all of our accelerator programs as well. So again, we want as many people that want to take part in this to take part in it.
Thank you.
Commissioner McCrae?
Thank you. Sir, have we joined up with you all yet?
Joined up in what way, sir?
You said you want us to partnership with you, $25,000. Have we giving you our $25,000?
Not yet, sir. Myself and David Scott have talked about that generally of what that would look like, but that's in part why I'm here today, is to tell you a little bit about it, and hopefully we can move forward on that in the future.
All right, sir, I'm going to be honest. Until we give you, saying that we're going to partnership with you, I know you're looking for us to partnership with you. You have our logo floating all through your presentation. You have our logo going all through your presentation. And we have a licensure for our logo to be used. I'm just saying that you get permission.
I did that for this presentation today, sir, but I'm more than happy to take it down from any of the other.
I think you need to talk to Eleanor Crisell. I'm just saying in regards to your licensure for using our logo. The reason is, sir, if you go somewhere else and give another presentation like this, you present it to me like we already signed up, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm sorry, but your presentation is fine. But until we do, I'm just going to say, far as I'm concerned, please stop using the logo.
Okay, I apologize
Thank
for
you.
that, sir.
All right. Thank you very much for the information.
Thank you
All
for
right.
your presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members.
Commission, no?
You have to make noise coming in.
Yeah.
I was going to wait till the end of the presentation.
Way to make an entrance.
All right. Commissioner Katz, I don't know if you're currently properly dressed.
Right.
Does the commission want to allow?
Oh, you guys.
Is currently
Only my mother
Deadpool's?
tells me how to dress.
He smell all right. Let him go.
Okay.
I remember we had a rule that we needed ties up here, so
I
Yeah.
apologize for my lateness. I was in Tallahassee and I've been in the car for the past 7 hours. I'm also sick, so in conjunction with all these factors, I ask for your forgiveness on the lateness and the lack of attire.
All
I
right.
have no informational items to disclose.
Accepted.
All right. And the other thing is city manager let me know that the park rangers are here. Can we bump that? I know they're not on the announcement. Can we put them in as next, please?
Yes.
All right. So if the park rangers could come up and explain what they're doing and moving forward.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. Wally Majors, Recreation and Parks Director. We are proud to announce that we have our park range program running, and although we're not at full speed yet, we're happy that we have at least begun to address a lot of the challenges that we've had to deal with in the past, and now, at least especially with parks like these, some of our most popular parks, we are able to get somebody out in the evenings and ensure that the parks are safe and secure. So with that being the case, some of you saw the vehicle downstairs. That's what we use to patrol the parks. And I'm going to introduce Wayne Carell. Some of you already met Wayne. Wayne is our parks crew supervisor, and he is responsible for managing the program, and very proud with the fact that Wayne has really been able to take this program a lot further than I thought we could be by this time. So we still have to bring on a couple more people, which would then allow us to deploy park rangers downstairs in the lobby when we have these types of meetings. We're not quite there yet. We'll be there soon. But Wayne, real quick, if you want to talk about the program real quick, and we'll go from there.
Well, I appreciate the credit that Wally just gave me, but he was a big leader in this. It was like he already set this up once before. So he's been planning this for a while, and you can just tell with everything that he assigned me that he had put a lot of thought into this, and it really is paying off. And it, just for example, one of the parks.
Turn the microphone loose, please. Take your hand off. There you go.
Sorry,
all right.
I'm very nervous. One of the parks maintenance crew just came up to me like last week and said, you wouldn't believe how clean the parking lots are of the lock gates. So first thing in the morning, they're used to coming into maybe a little bit of trash in the parking lots, but now that's not happening. The trash is not in the parking lot. The first thing the residents see in the morning is not trash in the parking lot. So that's just one thing that happened very quick. And I think another thing is that the residents around the gated parking lots don't have to call the local authorities to have these cars checked, because now they're already being escorted out. So with that, Jesse Gonzalez and Percy Earl, want to say something, please?
Thank you. My name is Jesse Gonzalez. We came on board about a month ago. We're about to see a lot of changes. They're kind of going slowly, but we got the community knowing that at 10 o'clock, the gates will be closed, or at sunset. So they're really reacting to us. We've had good contact with the community so far, good positive. Also with law enforcement, we've set up a good connection with them. So it's working out very good. I'm very proud to work for your city, and I hope to look further on.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm wanting to talk.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'd like to echo what Jesse said. I'm Percy Ely. It's nice to be here working for the city of Boynton Beach, trying to patrol the parks and keeping things safe and locking the gates at night. So thanks for having us.
Yes, Commissioner McCray.
Thank you. I want to be the first one to welcome you all aboard. This has been my pet peeve ever since I've been here in the city of Boynton as an elected official. It took almost 14 years, but I'm glad you all are here now. I'm just saying we needed you all long time ago. Welcome aboard. The question I have for the park rangers who's already been out for a month, I'm just saying, have you all ran into any problems with asking people to leave?
I haven't really encountered too much, but there's been a couple occasions, but they've been receptive and very respectful. Now that we're out there exposed, they're very respectful to our work.
Right,
so
but
when we get there.
Right,
yes.
but it wasn't stay there, but it wasn't at the point where we had to use the blues to come in, to get together.
No.
Thank you. That's what I'm looking for.
It doesn't
I'm
get
just
to that
saying,
point.
friendly atmosphere. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Is there any other questions from the commission? Thank you so much.
Welcome aboard.
All right. Do we have someone from the chamber to accept the proclamation for Small Business Saturday, or a small business owner that would like to accept it? Yeah. All right. So, City of Boynton Beach proclamation. Whereas the City of Boynton Beach celebrates our local small businesses and the contributions they make to our local economy and community. According to the United States Small Business Administration, there are currently 30 million small businesses in the United States. They represent 99% of all businesses with employees in the United States and responsible for 66% of net new jobs created from 2000 to 2017. And whereas small businesses employ 48% of all businesses with employees in the United States, and whereas on average 33% of consumers' holiday shopping will be done at small, independently owned retailers and restaurants, and whereas 91% of all consumers believe that supporting small, independently owned restaurants and bars is important, and whereas 76% of all consumers plan to go to one or more small businesses as part of their holiday shopping, and whereas the City of Boynton Beach, Florida supports our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our neighborhoods. And whereas advocacy groups as well as public and private organizations across the country have endorsed this Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Now therefore, I, Stephen B. Grant, Mayor of the City of Boynton Beach, do hereby proclaim November 24th as Small Business Saturday.
Good evening, Rick Maharaj. I am representing the Boynton Beach Chamber of Commerce. I am the chairman for the ambassadors, city commission, staff, and members of the audience. On behalf of our chamber here in the city, boasting 450 members, I want to say thank you. This is an honor, truly great recognition. We appreciate it, and certainly look forward to collaborating and working with our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have announced from the Public Works Solid Waste Division of our Tire Amnesty Week.
Good evening. Davidson Monesteem, Solid Waste Manager. On behalf of the Solid Waste Division and myself, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I also wanted to take the opportunity to bring one of our outstanding Solid Waste Division staff members, Jonelle. He'll tell us a little more about Tire Amnesty Week. Go ahead, Jonelle.
Thank you, Mr. Davidson, for the introduction. As he stated, I'm Jonel Luma, and I work here in the city, Public Works. Let's talk about tire amnesty. Tire amnesty is the first week of December, from December 3rd to December 7th. We'll be collecting tires with or without rims, up to 8 of them, at every residence on their individual bulk pickup day. For people who don't know, the bulk pickup day is whenever you pick up like furniture, refrigerators, big household items. Now, it's pretty much it when it comes to tire amnesty. You're more than welcome to call us at 561-742-6200 if you have any more questions, or ask me directly here right now.
Yes, Commissioner McRae.
Thank you, Mayor. Jonelle, in regards to tire amnesty, I think this is something that you all need to partner with community standards, like probably the week prior, and start telling people, you got tires back there, you could put them out, now we're going to pick them up. I'm just saying, if you all could kind of collaborate and let them know if they see tires behind anybody's house or wherever, because I get kind of tired of telling them, and on vacant property, to pull them out close so that you all can pick them up. That would help me.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I think I like that idea, Commissioner. I think we still have time. It's the 20th today, and it doesn't, Tire Amnesty Week isn't until the 3rd, so maybe we can still do a collab between community standards and help get the word out.
No problem.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
quickly. I wanted to add that the last Tire Amnesty Week was very successful. We collected approximately 400 tires. That would be 2 30-yard wall of dumpsters full of tires for an equivalent of 8,800 pounds of tires for 4.4 tons of tires. So it was very successful through social media and Twitter. Eleanor has been very helpful, so it was great.
Yes, Vice Mayor.
Can I just say, Jeff was so successful in picking you. Oh my God! Who knows these types of numbers? Only somebody like you. But that's awesome. That's awesome. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you for the numbers.
Yes, Commissioner McRae.
Thank you. I like to say to staff, I know that when you all come up to the podium, these other 3 individuals, they make y'all feel uncomfortable. I'm glad I don't. I'm just saying.
Thank you. You do a great job.
He's still got jokes.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we will announce that City Hall will be closed for Thanksgiving holiday on Thursday, November 22nd, and Friday, November 23rd, 2018.
Happy
Mayor.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes, Commissioner McRae.
Thank you. Let me do it right. On behalf of the elected officials from this city, and to our staff and their families, and to the citizens of this great city, we'd like to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you, Commissioner McRae. Next, we will announce that the Palm Beach County Property Appraiser's Office will be manning a table at the Senior Center to provide Boynton Beach residents with information on how to file for homestead exemption from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. for the last time on Tuesday, December 11, 2018. Next, we have an announcement for the Town Square Public Input Meeting on open spaces and play areas.
Eleanor Crusell, Marketing Director. We're happy to announce that we're having another public input meeting for open spaces and playgrounds. We had one on August 24th that was very successful, and we promised the public that we would have another one that they could roundabout on the ideas that have been submitted today by our developers. It's going to be held at the Carolyn Sin Center, and it will be December 5th from 5:30 to 7:30. There are flyers by the entrance doors for you when you leave. And please, it's a family. We want to have children involved, so if you do have members of your family that are youth interested in having some input into our playground, please bring them. We encourage all families to come. Colin, anything else?
Unless there's questions.
And what time again? Okay, so from 5:30 to 7:30. Next, we will proclaim December 1st, 2018 as World AIDS Day. Is Wincy Marcellus here to accept the proclamation? No. All right. Proclamation. Whereas worldwide an estimated 36.7 million people are living with HIV, and an estimated 1.8 million new infections occur each year, or about 5,000 new infections every day. And whereas worldwide 30% of people infected don't know their status and only 57% of persons who are living with HIV are currently accessing life-saving antiretroviral therapy. And whereas the global spread of HIV infections and AIDS necessitates a worldwide effort to increase communication, education, and action to stop the spread of HIV. And whereas the joint United Nations program on HIV/AIDS observes December 1st of each year as World AIDS Day, and leads and inspires the world to achieve its shared vision of zero new HIV infections, zero discrimination, and zero AIDS-related deaths. And whereas the 90-90-90 ambitious global plan to help end the AIDS epidemic has set its target for 2020 that 90% of all HIV who know their status, 90% of all people who are diagnosed with HIV will receive sustained antiretroviral therapy, and 90% of all people receiving antiretroviral therapy will have viral suppression. And whereas in Palm Beach County, more than 8,400 persons are living with HIV, and about one new infection occurs every day, and the Palm Beach County HIV Community Prevention Partnership and the Palm Beach County HIV Care Council, through its partners, are working together to renew HIV/AIDS awareness and expand and strengthen the local efforts to stop the spread of HIV in Palm Beach County and World AIDS Day. Now, therefore, I, Stephen B. Grant, Mayor of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim the first day of December 2018 as World AIDS Day, and urge all residents of the City of Boynton Beach to take part in activities and observances designed to increase awareness and understanding of HIV/AIDS as a global challenge, and urge residents to join the global effort to prevent further spread of HIV/AIDS. Thank you.
Is she here?
No.
Would someone else like to accept this proclamation? Please stand. Oh. All right.
Mayor, excuse me, before we move, we already approved this agenda, but I'm just saying my agenda says 2016. I'm just saying it's a typo just for the record. I'm just saying we could,
There was a new updated one that was handed
well,
out.
they didn't give it to me, sir.
All righty.
I said mine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, we have another announcement by Eleanor Crisell, Public Communications and Marketing Director, regarding the 48th Annual Holiday Parade and Light Up the Park.
Being Eleanor Crisell, Marketing Director. I'm happy to announce 10 days from today, we have the 48th Annual Holiday Parade taking place on Federal Highway from Southeast 12th to 1st. We have over 50 entries, which is one of our record-breaking years, so we're very happy about that. There'll be floats. We have 9 bands that have committed. Fun to be had by all. And this year, since we have Town Square under construction, we're going to be having our Light Up the Park that the CRA will be doing at Dewey Park immediately following the holiday parade at 6 p.m. There'll be music there and food and beverages. So we invite everyone to come. Very excited about it. Tomorrow we'll be announcing our Grand Marshal, and I encourage you to take a flyer as you leave. And again, this is a free family event.
Thank you. Next, Vice Mayor, you mentioned an announcement on a food drive.
Oh, Commissioner
Commissioner
McCready did
McCready,
that.
I'm sorry.
Eleanor, you need to come back, please.
All right.
Yeah, I got this on our email, and I'm just saying there's a partnership with the food drive in regards to the library. If you want to elaborate for the citizens to hear, please. Well, Greg?
And I'm going to defer to our library director, Craig Clark. It's all the information for you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. The library is holding its annual Food for Fines Month for the month of November. For each non-perishable food item, you will get $1 taken off your late fines. And even if you don't have late fines, please bring in some non-perishable food items. It supports our Community Caring Center. They're a great partner of ours, and they really appreciate the donations.
Thank you, sir.
And then, Commissioner McCrae, your next announcement was regarding the press release issued today with Fair Housing.
Right, partnership with Fair Housing. If somebody can elaborate on that.
Eleanor? You're... Okay. Yeah.
That, like, That arose from the HUD complaint that was filed against the city, and so as part
More
of
into the mic, please.
that arose from the HUD complaint that was filed against the city, and as part of the settlement between the city and the complainants, which is Fair Housing, as well as an individual by the name of Dr. Love Predalis, the city came up with a partnership with Fair Housing because what was uncovered as part of negotiating the settlement is the apparent lack of communication between the city and the community, which is what allegedly led to them filing the complaint. Their position was that they didn't know or hadn't received enough information from the city about their opportunity to seek a reasonable accommodation, even though the city's ordinance provides the opportunity for a reasonable accommodation. So as part of reaching a settlement with the complainants, the city entered into a partnership with Fair Housing so that we could make sure that we educate the community on a more progressive basis and a more proactive basis to make sure that the community is aware of the reasonable accommodation ordinance and the opportunities to seek reasonable accommodations in the city on a regular basis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was there a sort of a monetary part of this settlement?
There was.
Can you please give us that number?
They were asking for $250,000, and then we ended up giving them $20,000.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah, my concern is that since we, said that we're going to keep up and make sure that the community is aware of what's going on, will that fall in the purview of the city manager office? I'm just saying that if so, I'd like to have an update on like what is going on. I'm just saying I don't want us to get back to this point again.
Right. Well, it's not just within the city manager's office. It also includes training all of the city staff on how to be more proactive and interactive with the community and with citizens that they come into contact with. And instead of telling them the analogy I used yesterday when I was with the executive team is, instead of telling citizens no, the answer is no, you can't do this, but here are the other options you can avail yourself of. So that's going to be the strategy that we're going to roll out with the staff so that when they communicate with the community, they also are actively giving them opportunities to utilize the systems that we already have in place.
Well, after the training with the staff, Lori, I'm just saying that when the training went on,
And we have very specific timelines within the agreement that we made with HUD of some actions that we are going to be taking and some items we'll be bringing forward to the commission, so you will be getting some regular updates.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor, did you have an announcement?
I did not. Thank you.
Okay. So was there Commissioner McCray, did you have one more?
I have one more.
All right. Can you please, did not write it down.
I did.
Community of the... You got it. Okay.
In regards to our meeting on December the 3rd, Chief Gregory, at the Carolyn Sims Center, if you can come forward and make an announcement, please. And while you're making your announcement, I hope that you will utilize the neighborhood police officers like to get flyers out in the stores in District 2 and also to the churches so that we could, at least show up in big numbers to scare you. I'm just saying. Thank you.
Michael Gregory, Police Chief. Yes, Commissioner, we are having a community engagement meeting at this Carolyn Sims Center on December 3rd at 6 p.m. The public is invited to come out and listen to some presentations from the police department about our operations and status of where things are right now in the city. Coming up in December, we'll be in December at that time. We are putting out flyers and pamphlets at the local churches, as you suggested, at the last commission meeting, so that is taking place, and we've been canvassing the community, and there will be zone officers and the neighborhood officers that work in that area at the meeting as well.
Thank you. In regards, I know that the sunshine law, we cannot speak when we're there. I'm just saying, just in case the elected officials are there, you can kind of do like a feedback for us so that we know what the concerns are and let us know what, the outcomes are. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The last announcement would be that on December 28th, a week from Wednesday, the Boynton Beach Garden Club with the $500 community support funds that we gave them last year, they are having a plant sharing program where everyone who is willing to drive by 103 Northwest 6th Avenue to see the Boynton Hills neighborhood, new park that they put in, will be able to receive a free plant, and that will be from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And hopefully our Eleanor will be able to help pass that information out. Is there any other announcements from the board? Seeing none, we're moving it on to public audience. Individual speakers will be limited to 3-minute presentations. Please state your name and address for the record before you begin.
No, she'll be back. She's coming. She's in a hurry.
Hi, Susan Oyer, 140 Southeast 27th Way. First of all, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. But I want to bring up the absences on some of the boards. I know you guys are going to make decisions on all the boards in the next week or so, at the next commission meeting. But I wanted to bring these to your attention, the absences and tardies on the 2 boards I sit on. And note that I took these from the minutes because the clerk's office has been especially busy and wasn't able to get me the information by today's meeting. But I wanted to point out the excessive amount of absences and tardies on, for example, the Arts Board. If we can just take a look at one of the examples, for example, Golene Lewis, note that she has been tardy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, ranging from 5 minutes to approximately 45 minutes. She's been absent once, but it's the tardies that I look at and worry about. If you look at, for example, Lauren Huff, she's been absent 4 times and tardy 2 times. I know when I spoke to someone at City Hall today, they said that they were starting to send letters out about this, and I'm wondering who is supposed to be on top of this, because this shouldn't get to this point, I would think. For example, Anderson Slocum, the first time I sat on the Arts Board, I think I saw him at maybe 2 Arts Board meetings in that year I was there. So he was just absent excessively. Looking at P&D board, Stephen Palermo has been absent 4 times, and this is not even the most current up-to-date because I didn't look at the last month or 2 of minutes to pull his. Kevin Fisher's been absent a couple times. I know he's been sick. But we actually went through alternates, and they kicked him off the board pretty quick on P&D just because they weren't showing up. But I'm encouraging you all to look at this and look at the attendance records for everyone when you go to reappoint people at the next commission meeting, so you're not reappointing people who are consistently absent or tardy. I'm also going to ask that you consider looking at a tardy policy like the school system has. I realize that, people are going to be tardy, and that's a reality of living in the real world, traffic, 95, whatever. So maybe if there's like a 10-minute grace policy, but when you have people 35, 45 minutes late, maybe we should look at 2 tardies equaling an absence like we do in the school system. And I'm wondering who's in charge of, making sure these people get removed off the board when they are excessively absent. So that would be my question of the day to you guys. But thank you so much.
Commissioner McCray.
Thank you, Mayor. Mrs. Oyer, in regards to years past, the clerks have always sent us out a notice updating us saying this person has been absent, and I probably just because of an oversight, they have not been sending it to us, but they could start back, sending them back to us. I'm just saying, so that we would know just what you found out by getting the sheet, just, send the reports back to us. That's to me anyway, if nobody else don't want them. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I just took it off the minutes, and I know you get them, but that doesn't mean you have time to actually look at them that closely. Thank you so much, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Mayor, since we're on the subject, didn't we create an ordinance about absences and excessive absences and being removed from the board, or was that just for the CRA?
I believe that was for all boards.
All boards.
And so, Judy, would you mind refreshing our memory, if not this meeting, but next meeting, on our absent policy? Okay, thank you. Yes.
Hi, everybody. My name's Ellen Santulli, and I am a former resident and homeowner of Boynton Beach, Florida. And I'm here to talk to you all about the wrongful death of my son that occurred on November 1st, and it has to do with the direct response of the Boynton Beach Police, or lack of response of the Boynton Beach Police Department. I've had numerous conversations with various members of the Boynton Beach Police Department, including Captain Gregory, and I asked a specific question of him regarding the letter of the law, and he would not answer my question. I've had officers laugh at me. I've had officers not follow through with the letter of the law. I've had officers not return my phone calls. This is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. I called to speak to the city manager, and I did not get a call back. So you all need to know what's going on within the Boynton Beach Police Department. 17 years ago, they fractured my entire family, and I let it go. It was all based on a lie. They jumped too quick, didn't ask the right questions, and I have been trying to put my family back together for 17 years. And now my son is deceased. And it's a direct result of them being too lazy to do their jobs. And that's all I guess I have to share with you right now. But you all need to know with full transparency what's going on in your police department.
What are your comments, then?
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to say that I heard what you said, but you said it was November the 1st, and I'm just saying I don't know if they was at liberty to say anything to you all or say anything to us, but this is my first time hearing about it, but that would be something that the chief has to say. I'm just saying, I don't know what kind of matters might pursue from this, but I'm just saying we have to be careful on what we can say and what we cannot say. Nobody shared anything with me, so if they can, speak to you liberty, I'm just saying, and tell you what went on and stuff like that, then I'm quite sure that they would share it with you. Chief Gregory is there. I'm just saying, if you give him your phone number and if he could, information that he could share with you, I'm quite sure he'll share that information as far as he can go with the purview of the law.
Okay, it was a specific question regarding a specific letter of the law, which I know the answer to, and he would not comment.
Okay.
Well, as an attorney, I would ask that you speak to an attorney.
It's already in motion, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Jerry Taylor, 1086 Southwest 26th Avenue, Boynton Beach. It's my understanding that in the last 7 to 10 days, former City Commissioner Shirley Jaskowitz passed away. I had the honor of serving with Shirley on this commission, and I can tell you I feel that she did an excellent job for this community, and I would ask that you remember her in your prayers. Thank you.
Mayor, I think also that Mrs. Jackowitz was also one of our mayors. Thank you. Okay. Well, it's nice to be old sitting up here. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council Commissioners. My name is Carl Sloan. I reside at 39 Hampshire Lane. For about the past 14 years, I've resided at Hunter's Run. I have been president of the club, and presently I am chair of the Governmental Relations Committee. The purpose of this committee is to help the club members be informed of actions that our elected officials may be taking that may affect their lives. To accomplish this goal, I and other committee members will stay in touch and contact with you. We will attend these meetings. Over the last several years, the club has spent significant funds to improve its infrastructure. We would like to invite the City Council to come to the club shortly after the New Year to see what we have done and to tour our facilities. I know some of you had previously done this. We will be in touch with the city manager to arrange a convenient time for the council to make this tour. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And this is my last warning. If someone's phone does ring, you will be asked to leave. It was outside? All right.
I'm already leaving. Okay.
Okay.
Greetings, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Barbara Bernardin, address 9873 Lawrence Road, Boynton Beach.
Shauna, give her another 3 minutes. Thank you.
I am here this evening to wish you all and your family a happy Thanksgiving. And Mayor, I'm sorry for the loss of your dog. I'm not a pet owner, but I had the privilege of living with one temporarily, and the love that they give and the loyalty that you receive from them, it's immeasurable. So I'm truly sorry for your loss. And I also would like to thank all the employees from the city of Boynton Beach who makes this city a livable city to live. And that includes all the men and women who works behind the scene that we don't get to see on the dais. And that includes the man that picks up our garbage every
Excuse me.
week.
Sorry, Barbara. Whose phone is that? Oh, he stepped outside? Is that in a... Is that Mayor Taylor, is that his backpack? I'm sorry,
Oh,
Bernadette.
no, that's fine. And that includes all the men in uniforms that do the work that we don't get to see every day. So I'd like to thank you all for your service. And Mayor, you've mentioned an initiative to start an internship program for our local high school. I support it, and I look forward to hear great work from that initiative. Again, thank you all.
Before I begin, can I ask a quick question? You moved item 2B to the end. Would this be an appropriate time to introduce myself?
No. If you would like to discuss, if you're an applicant for Commissioner 4, you'll have the 3 minutes at that
end.
time.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Kevin Homer. I live at 2505 Lake Drive North here in Boynton Beach. I want to talk about Boynton Cares last cleanup November 4th, which we brought in some fresh faces to the community. And it's here at this park. One of the unfortunate highlights was a plastic bag sitting inches away from a duck egg in the park's lake. Teresa and Sean McKillop brought their son, and one of the volunteers mentioned that this pollution not only affects the animals and the environment, but it affects us as well. And plastic is only it's like 100 years old, and we don't know the effects of plastic yet. It's actually in all of us. And it might be causing various cancers. So and we'll know that with time. But bringing their son was a reminder that pollution not only affects us, but will affect the next generation as well. Again, thanks to the Palm Beach Post article noted by national recording artist Edwin McCain, famous for his songs I'll Be and I Could Not Ask for More. And the CEO of Loggerhead Marina wrote a beautiful letter praising our efforts here in Boynton Beach to protect our environment, which again connects us to the rest of the world. Last week I was asked to speak at Murakami Elementary School in Delray, which was one of my life highlights. And while I was asked to speak, it turned into an open discussion where many of the children were the ones actually speaking to me. The same group of children are involved in Kindness Matters. It's an initiative to be kind to others. And the session began with them talking about their week and kindness towards other people, to animals and the environment. Again, thank you to the Palm Beach Post and the Mo and Sally Show on 105.5. I did reach out to 8 school principals here in Boynton Beach with the offer to speak to their students and further educate Boynton Beach and her citizens. And finally, special thank you to our last group of volunteers and the community supporters, specifically Driftwood, Taverna, Trilla, and a strong thank you to Bright Futures Treatment Center, and since I still have 24 seconds left, Wally And Wayne, I was excited when Commissioner McRae said that this has been long overdue in hiring a Parks and Rec staff,
Rangers.
A ranger, thank you. And here we go, bing, bing, bing. Anyhow, thank you. That was a good idea.
My name's Herb Saw, 1711 Woodfern, Boynton Beach. Want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much. As a former Marine veteran, I'm ashamed once again of somebody that calls himself a leader and sticking up for the military. What happened in France about a week and a half ago, our leader failed to go to a cemetery about the World War I doughboys. Disgraceful. And what was the excuse? Some rain came down, and he had an umbrella. This is absolutely a shame. And he's supposed to be for the military? I went back to the VA yesterday. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you plain English. Most vets that I know up there, and I've been absent for a couple of months. I had to take a leave of absence after everything I see up there. They are so damn bitter about that issue. You can't make that up. He's also, and you know, I point this out, and I'm going to keep on talking. We are right now in a not even a but we're in a fascist state. We have a fascist leader, as I repeat, Hitler's playbook, state radio, Fox News, Sean Hannity, Goebbels. You can't make this up. It's happening every day. Lying, and it's just, and you know something? The House Republicans, the House and the Senate, they're complicit. They are complicit with this. This is Trump's party, and it's disgusting. And let me tell you something. We now have a ray of hope. A ray of hope. The House is now going to swing 35 seats, Democratic. And let's hope that they don't go for this impeachment, because I'm not for that. Let them legislate. And you hear what McConnell said? After 8 years, he says, now it's time to work across the aisles. He's a slimy person. He is. He's slimy. All of a sudden, he wants to work with the other side. What happened in the last 8 or 9 years? And I'll tell you something. With the next election coming up in 2020, I wouldn't be a bit surprised that our Führer says he wants to run, and not run, but just cancel the elections. I'm telling you something. He is capable of anything. And what I'm frightened about is his state of mind recently. Is nervous. And you know what? Takes one thing with the red button. The red button. And let me tell you something. This country, we are in serious trouble.
Thank you for your comments.
Excuse me?
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah, thank you very much for letting me say it.
Mayor?
Yes.
I would ask for you to have people from the peanut gallery refrain from heckling members who are standing up here and addressing the commission. I think that's rude and it's inappropriate and it should not happen. It's happened several times. It hasn't been mentioned. There needs to be a precedent that needs to be set that is not appropriate.
Thank you for your comments. Yes, next.
Dr. Blas. 113 Tara Lakes Drive, Boynton Beach, Florida, 3343.
Excuse me, can you take your hand away from the microphone?
I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. The first thing I want to say, actually, to the mayor is that your Daisy and my Kirsten are playing in heaven together. I had that setter. Well, you know what I mean. Okay, so now, the second thing I need to say is that, as most of you know, I have been a write-in candidate for governor of the state. We got quite a few votes without spending a single dollar. And one comment I would like to make about that election, and I know our election will be much better, that it was a very bad election. Of course, everybody knows that the counting machines are so-so, but even if they were perfect, there is a lot to be done to improve the election system. And I'm in the process of actually contesting it. You will not see it in the news. The Palm Beach Post always ignores me, but that's okay. Now, coming back to Boynton, which is really our focus. By the way, I do not appreciate the insults calling Trump a fascist or Führer. I'm a Holocaust survivor. He is no Führer. The Führer killed my people. So if you want to say it that way, okay, I do object. But as for our city of Boynton, we have an incredibly good mayor and commission. So my job is only to try to be a little better, and that's almost impossible. So let me sketch 3 ideas. One, I will repeat something you know, that we will obtain energy from the Gulf Stream. That I think is a given. Everybody is accepting it. It's going to be public-private partnership. Bring a lot of money to the city. The second idea is we're doing a beautiful job with the old high school, you know, there. But as you know, either there or at the mall, I want to build this 600-story building, which will make you dizzy. And I want you to get used to that idea. And the university will be there. And the final idea, totally incredible, but I don't have time to justify it, is that when I get elected, I propose to raise the minimum wage in Boynton to $70 an hour, 70. If you don't believe me, you will get 50. Thank you.
Seeing no more further public comments, it is now closed. Moving on to administrative. Announce that all vacancies are merged into an annual reappointment schedule for December 4th, 2018. And so, Judy, does that mean everyone will need to reapply to this?
Any vacancies that exist on the board, they've been merged together to come up with the total list.
Okay. Thank you. Next, moving on to consent agenda. Is there any?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Before we go, Julie, let me make sure. You said they must do they have to reapply?
Right.
Everybody will have to reapply.
Well, everybody whose term is expiring. Everybody has 2-year terms. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thank you for the clarification. So everyone whose term is expiring needs to reapply.
Thank you.
Next, for consent agenda, any items that people wish to pull?
Motion to approve.
I just had one for the minutes. I took a look at it, and Commissioner Cray, in the comments, you stated that I was the one who required a full board for the ordinance, and it was actually Commissioner Casello. I stated that we could have a special meeting.
Thank you for the correction, but I know it came from that end. Thank you.
All right. That's the only comment that I have. So may I have a motion? Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Adjourn, yes.
Motion, I'm sorry. Motion to approve.
Don't let me get you nervous. Come on.
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed. Motion, the minutes are approved. May I have a motion to approve the remaining consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to bids and purchases over $100,000. Approved task order to design and build restroom at Sarah Sims Park to Hatcher Construction and Development, Inc. in the amount of $127,000 in accordance with the pre-qualified vendors for minor construction service agreements. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve for discussion.
Is there? All right. Commissioner McCray, you have a question?
I have a comment as well. In regards to the restrooms that's going to be at Sarah Sims, will they be facing MLK Boulevard, especially the ladies' room?
Hello, Commissioner. My name is Gary Dunmeyer. I'm the city engineer. The restroom is not facing MLK. It's facing the other direction, actually.
Oh, okay, the reason I'm saying is that we need to make sure that, with park rangers, hopefully they will help us, but I'm just saying the way they was built before, the ladies' restrooms was facing south, and that was a bad, whoever designed it, I'm just saying, so that we could be cognizant of making sure that the purview would be that the officers could see the lady restrooms. I'm just saying, I'm more concerned about them than I am the guys. I'm sorry.
Completely understood. I'll make sure that's looked into.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions from the board? May I have a second? Thank you. All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Proposed resolution number 18-172, approve utilizing the City of Lake Worth, Florida bid for 93% sulfuric acid purchase and delivery with Shreve Chemical Company with the same terms, conditions, specifications, and pricing, and authorize the city manager to sign a contract with Shreve Chemical Company. The anticipated annual expenditure for the purchase of sulfuric acid is $100,000.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion from the board? Seeing none.
I have one, I'm sorry. Colin, if you can get me that information, how much we spent last year, I'm just saying, it's not going to stop the vote. Thank you.
I have that right here, Commissioner, if you'd like me to let you
Yes.
know. We went back, let's see, fiscal year 17-18, which is our last fiscal year, $87,230.
Thank you.
All right. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Seeing none, motion passes unanimously. Proposed resolution number 18-173, approve utilizing the City of Miami's contract to furnish, install, and repair emergency equipment in all city vehicles on an as-needed basis from Dana Safety Supply, Inc. of Doral, Florida, for an estimated annual amount of $400,000. Authorize the city manager to sign a piggyback agreement with Dana Safety Supply, Inc. May I have a
Move.
Thank you.
Second for discussion.
Yes.
Thank you. I'd like to say to the city staff, thank you for that information that you did get me for the last 2 years. And the reason I asked for analysis, I'd like to find out what we're approving is enough, I'm just saying, to carry us through. I'm just saying I don't like to keep coming back to our budget and saying that we need to amend to give more money. I'm just saying thank you. The information was clear to me. I'm in favor of the $400,000 for the year that's coming up. Thank you.
Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Seeing none, motion passes unanimously. Moving on to new business. Approve the request of Commissioner Romulus to distribute $500 of community support funds to Growing Strong Ministries, Inc. for their Thanksgiving food drive.
No move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion from the board? Seeing none. All those.
I don't have a discussion, but I have a question.
Yes.
I'm just saying, since we did this, I'm just saying, was that for this year? And if so, how many turkeys did they buy?
It was for this year, Commissioner. I was going to answer that after we approve the vote. But yes.
Excuse me, I want to know before we approve. I might have some problems.
Well,
thank you.
Okay, so my funds only help to contribute to the total funds that were collected, but over 160 families were given not only turkeys, but rice, beans, vegetables, and just that way they can make an entire meal and not just a turkey. So this was a great, very successful event. This is their third year doing this, and they keep upping the numbers every year.
I'd like to personally tell you, thank you. This is what it's all about, Thanksgiving, taking care of the less fortunate. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to item to fill the vacancy for existing in Commissioner District 4. I'll ask the city clerk, how many applications did we receive?
5,
5.
5, 6.
6.
I'm sorry, 6.
And so I'd like to, if the commission allows, to have each of the applicants give a 3-minute presentation of who they are, what they would like to do with Boynton Beach, and why they want to be appointed. Yes.
As a disclosure, I did meet personally with Amy Kelly in regards to this item.
I didn't meet with anyone. Let's go with the 3 minutes.
All right. Thank you. Commissioner Katz, is that okay?
Yeah. Are we able to ask questions?
Basically, we can ask questions, or if we want to just have the 3-minute presentations and then move on. So it's up to the board if you'd like to ask questions or not. So I'd like, yes.
In regards to asking questions, I'm just saying we could write them down and then, ask, because I don't want anybody to think that that's coming up behind the next person. This is what they're looking for. I like to be fair and honest.
Yeah, so I'd prefer if we ask questions at the end, if there's something in specific we would like to ask each candidate. All right. So, our first applicant is, and it's going alphabetical, is Charles Cantor.
Good evening. I've lived in this city since 2004. I moved up here from the Keys, where I was instrumental in building several parks and also in creating the city of Marathon. It was just unincorporated Monroe County at the time, and we decided that we wanted a city, and we created it. I've had a lot of experience all the way up as far as the White House. I was the director of training for the 100 Cities program under the jobs program of the Department of Labor. As a subcontractor from Westinghouse Learning Corporation, I've got plenty of, however, let's get to what I want to do, what my agenda is here. We haven't had any real progress in District 4 at all. And we've got the highest growth rate in the city. We are going exponential there, with 6-story apartment buildings going up across the street, and all of the best restaurants in town are there. And I don't know how many people go up there and who's been to Hot Pot up there, or Povon, or any of the other new restaurants that are there that are really superb. We also, my main agenda here is the park. We have a 60-acre park that several of you have been to the displays, the demonstrations, and the things that we've done, and I want to see that come to fruition. However, I have to say this, that I also, the reason I was originally, was originally talking to Rick Mirage about him running for this seat. And I want to tell you absolute truth. I'm not going to hide anything. I mentioned to Rick that he's the guy that ought to take this position. And we talked about it. I've known him for a couple of years, good guy. And one day, Joe Casella called me up and said, listen, he says, I hear your name bandied about. He says, how about, are you interested in this position? And I said, well, Joe, I'll tell you, yes. The answer to that is yes. I've already talked to Rick, though. I'm not sure it's fair. And I said, but however, I would only want this position for the 13 months of your term. That's it. After that, I'm going to be up for election, and I hope to be able to mentor somebody beyond that. And the person I would mentor would be Rick. So if you see fit to pass by me over him, I can understand, to him, I can understand completely. If you pick me, you'll get one heck of a good job.
Thank you, Charles. I just want to clarify, is this only for the remaining period into our next election in March, or is this for 13 months? So it's only for the month, so it's not 13 months, Charles.
Longer.
It's shorter.
Shorter?
It's only until March? March 2019, because we're already going to have election in District 4. Okay. Our next candidate is Amy Kelly.
Good evening, Commission and Mayor. My name is Amy Kelly. I reside at 7853 Manor Forest Lane, and I'm seeking the appointment of the empty commission seat. My husband and I have been residents of Boynton Beach and District 4 since 2005. We have 2 children. Our son is 9 and our daughter is 6. And I can't forget our hound dog, Stella. My family and I are active members of our city and participate and support many activities happening in our city, as well as supporting our city commission. We're excited to see all of the new changes that are coming to the city. I have 19 years experience working in the legal system for people, and I feel like that gives me the ability to look at issues from all sides. Given my experience, I feel I could represent the entirety of the district. I just want to thank you for your time, and I look forward to the opportunity of supporting the city and the commission in our future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me get clarification, because you all just said we're going to have an election for District 4 March 2019. Is it March 2019 or March 2020?
March 12th, 2019.
So the person being appointed tonight will only serve until the next election cycle, at which point someone will need to be elected to fill the remainder of Joe Casello's term, which is 1 year, and then 1 year later will be the actual election for the next 3-year term. So this is like a 4-month appointment, then there's a 1-year election, then there's a 3-year election.
Thank you. So I know I'm up, we ran side by side, and I'm saying I'm up 2020, but thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, we're just doing a special election.
Yeah.
Thank you. Our next applicant is Rick Maharaj.
Good evening again, City Commission, staff, members of our audience. Rick Maharaj. Thank you for having me come up here and speak for 3 minutes. This is truly an honor and a privilege to even put my name in the hat with the other candidates. Chuck, thank you for that great, you're an awesome guy. I love you to death. I've lived, worked, and played in Boynton Beach for a little over 20 years now. I have a business based in our city, a super effective CRA advisory board member, working with budgets, bubbling up suggestions and to our city staff and commission rather. Chairman of our ambassadors for our chamber that manages roughly about 450 businesses throughout our city. As far as an educational background, an engineer, and a business piece that complements it really well. As far as clients and sectors that I've served, the United States Army, other city agencies, so I do bring the business but also the technical aspect to the table. Certainly appreciate this opportunity, and would truly love to work with our commission, our staff, and our residents hand in hand. Thank you again, Rick Maharaj.
Our next applicant is Amir Tyrone Pensurga.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tyrone Pensurga of 4315 Key Lime Boulevard, and I'm seeking this opportunity to serve and represent the families of District 4. I deeply believe this opportunity is the best way I can harness all my skills and past experiences to serve my community. That is, to make our neighborhoods safer and to support those in the front lines, to make our businesses thrive and to encourage the growth of new ones, and to help protect our environment, and overall to ensure that Boynton Beach is a place that we want to live, not only to live, but also to work and play. I intend to bring a progressive educator, scientist perspective to city government to continue and propel forward the great work that has already been done by the Commission. I share in the vision that Boynton Beach is ripe for transformation to be the next cultural and technology hub of South Florida. I am 30 years old, Filipino-American, and I've lived in the city of Boynton Beach for almost 2 decades and nearly my entire life in Palm Beach County. This is where I grew up, attended elementary, middle, and high school, and after completing my undergraduate degree in Temple University in Philadelphia, I returned to Boynton to be close to family, friends, and to pursue my career. I got my first job here as a high school teacher working with underprivileged children. I earned my master's here at FAU, and I'm currently working on my PhD in neuroscience also at FAU. At every chapter of my life, I've sought to serve others in the capacity I thought best I could, whether it be in student government, fighting for those emergency services that needed to be improved. I witnessed a seizure in my class with a response time of nearly 30 to 40 minutes. Political campaigns to ensure that judges who protect homeless LGBT youths are elected into office. Or in my service as a high school teacher, graduate teaching assistant, and scientist. Boynton is a wonderful place for families and outdoor activities, but we also need to attract young people and young families. We need to transform Boynton Beach into a vibrant city where we preserve the beauty and peace of our residential communities, but also create an exciting nightlife with more cafes, more culture, more music. With that wave comes new businesses and more investments, which means more high-paying jobs, which is what we really want for the citizens of the city. If appointed into the City Commission, here's what you can expect from me. I will work tirelessly to improve the quality of life for the people of the city. I will work with each of you to look for common ground, to win where we can win together, to build bridges where they are broken, and ensure that the growth in this city is inclusive of all communities. I will listen before I speak. I will act decisively but methodically. I will assess the merits of any argument based on facts and data and not on ideology, and you can take that to the bank. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next applicant is Wayne Siegel.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners. Wayne Siegel, 1719 Arezzo Circle. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss my qualifications. I believe that my background and experience can make a significant contribution to the city. I served as interim District 4 Commissioner between December 2012 and April of 2013. And among my accomplishments was bringing forth an ordinance that changed the percentage necessary to win a commission seat, so you guys can blame me for that. I was Director of Public Affairs for the city for 11 years, and I established the department along industry standards. And one of my accomplishments from that time was making Boynton the first city in South Florida to use social media, which was recognized by the University of Pennsylvania. I came to Boynton Beach from Tallahassee, where I worked as Assistant Public Affairs Director for the Florida Department of Labor, and I've held similar positions with the cities of West Palm Beach and Philadelphia. Currently, I serve on the board of my homeowners association, so I have some firsthand knowledge of the citizens' concerns. I was also a member of the city's Brand Promise Committee, and I taught conversational English to indigenous people in Guatemala. I hold a master's degree from Kent State University and a bachelor's degree from the University of Maine. I'm also National Incident Management certified in communications, and every year since I retired from the city in 2011 have volunteered to be in the EOC during a hurricane. Thank goodness that hasn't happened. My vision for a better Boynton is to implement strategies that support business objectives, influence thinking, forge alliances, and build consensus that will improve the quality of life for all citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Our last applicant is Muriel Waldman.
Last but not least, right?
Right.
Right. To the mayor and to the commissioners, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
If the light's on the microphone, we can hear you.
All right. I am I offer a unique background for the 4th District. As now 16 years, I was a police officer, retired. I was with the Broward Sheriff's Office and also with the Florida Department, Florida Alcohol, Beverage, and Tobacco. Then for the last 15 years, I was with the Boynton Beach Police Department as the victim advocate. So many of you know me from there. I've met literally hundreds of people in Boynton with the police, as a police department victim advocate, usually, with things that are very bad that we try and make better.
You need to speak into the microphone, Muriel.
Yes, I have a degree in social science and a degree, MS in criminal justice from Nova. My thing is that I come without a lot of preconceived notions of what the city ought to be, because I know that it grows every day, and one must listen. That's my thing. I listen to people, and I have done this for 20 years now or more, and I feel as though I can bring that to Boynton Beach as part of the commission. I want to continue public service, and I think that's what a commissioner ought to be, is someone who is part of public service. And I think I can do a really good job in the 4th District, which is all off by itself. We're almost a self-contained unit of single-family dwellings, and I think I can bring something to that bucolic area that we have, that now the city is growing. So to meld those two things, to see that there's retail growth that comes with that, to find out where people are doing their shopping and where they go to church and so on, when we are so far out, Lawrence Road being that western. And thank you.
Thank you. So the commission, so what I'd like to do is that I'd like to actually call in reverse order what we just did. If anybody has any questions for Muriel first, and then work our way back. Does that sound good from the commission? Got it, head nod. So does anyone have Muriel, I'm sorry that you sat back down. I got one more question for you. Yeah, so the procedure. Yeah. That's all right. So my question is that, do you plan on running for the District 4 Commissioner seat if appointed?
The one in March.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm thinking of it, yes.
Okay, thank you. Does any of the guests, Commissioner Katz?
Yeah, so that was, excuse me, that was going to be my question too, and I'll kind of tip my hand as to why I'm going to ask that question. It's my personal belief that with the election coming up in March, that I personally would not be in favor of appointing someone for this brief period that intends to run in March to give them unfair advantage. I think if we, as an individual, I intend to restrict my vote to people who are looking to fill this vacancy on a temporary basis. But my personal opinion is if you intend to run in March, that I would not be in support of your appointment, because I think that us appointing and potentially anointing the next person for that seat through this appointment, it's not something I'm in favor of doing. So I'm going to ask that same question, or if the mayor's going to ask it, but I intend to restrict my support to applicants who do not intend to run in March, because if you intend to run in March, I look forward to seeing your candidacy and filling out that one-year term.
I mean, well...
May I say something to that, sir? If
yes.
there's a caveat to that, then I certainly agree with you. But absent signing a pledge, that's a little bit difficult.
Right.
You think that the person who you would pick for the position for the temporary position would never be the one to run. Is that what I understand you to say? You don't want that?
I think it would be a shame for someone to state tonight that they do not intend to run and then be selected and then essentially lie. So I would hope that anybody in responding to that question has the integrity to be honest about it. So that, again, this isn't a formal qualification. This is just my personal opinion with regards to this appointment, that I will only be in favor of individuals who would verbally, to me at least, state that they do not plan to seek the seat in March. It's not a formal requirement by any means. It's just my personal preference.
So Muriel, I echo the opposite. I think that anybody who is trying to get appointed and is full of aware that they will have to, face the transparency that public does face. We are elected officials, and this is almost bypassing the system. I think that the people of District 4 will not consider our appointment as an anointment, but as, they make their own decisions. And so I thank you for, providing your answer and your willingness to serve the city in addition to any appointment, if so be. Yes. Muriel. We have other questions. Yes, Commissioner McCray.
Yes.
Okay, I'm also going to echo what the mayor said. I'm just saying, I'm not going to hold that against anybody who wants to run, but my take is that, when it comes to the budget of this city, how much are you aware of what we're spending? I'm trying to look for I'm looking for someone who has been in purview of these commission meetings, who's up to speed on what we have been doing, who's in favor of Town Square project since we have it down there. I'd like to know, I'm going to ask the question of all of you all. What is your take on the Heart of Boynton? What are you planning on doing with the Heart of Boynton, since I represent the Heart of Boynton?
You have to speak into the microphone, Muriel. So, Muriel, the question that, if you would, Commissioner McCray, would you mind rephrasing your question?
I will ask it again. First of all, I'm going to give my spiel again, and then I ask the question. What I'm concerned is I need to know how well are you up to date on the budget for this city? That's going to be question one. How many commission meetings have you attended here in these chambers, not here, but in the city of Boynton? And my whole concern is, I'm going to ask everybody the same question. What is your take and what is your purview of saying, how am I going to help District 2, which we all have a vote, and developing the Heart of Boynton on MLK Boulevard?
That's a lot to take in one question.
Well, that's what you're going to get, Mary. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be funny. If you sit up here, you're going to get it up here. I'm just saying. That's my question.
I am not up on the budget.
Muriel, into the microphone, please.
Yes. I'm not up on the budget per se, and I haven't had a commission meeting here in 2 years since I retired. Before that, when it was in the old building, I did go quite often, and I read a lot about what was happening, about everything that was happening in the city. However, my responsibility, and in order to win an election, I have to know what's going on in the 4th district. That's, I'm not running for mayor. Now, when I get to the commission, of course I'm going to listen to what is being said and things that are being presented as far as the budget is concerned, but nobody knows the things about the budget that you people do. You're the commissioners. We are people that are trying to come aboard to try and push the city ahead. That means the whole city.
Thank you. Commissioner McCray, do you mind if I go on to Vice Mayor, and if you have another question to follow back?
I'm on the same question and on the same purview that I'm on. I'm going to say, although you might be representing District 4, your vote, and anybody who sets up here vote, will represent this entire city. And that's the purview that I'm looking for, whether it's the Heart of Boynton, District 1, 2, 3, or 4. I recognize you're not the mayor. The mayor only has one vote. He's represented at large, but things we vote on affects everybody in different districts in this city. And I don't want to be hung up on, like, you go vote for District 4. That's not the way it's going to go. I'm just saying you have to vote for the purview, what's best for this city, all over the city.
Of course.
Okay.
I understand that, but you have to get.
Excuse me.
You have to get elected first.
Excuse me. All right. Vice Mayor, do you have any question?
I have no questions for you, Muriel. I just want to say thank you for your 15 years of service as a victim's advocate for us here in Boynton Beach, and also for all your work as a police, Muriel, I want to say thank you for your 15 years of service as a victim's advocate here in Boynton Beach. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Is there any further questions for Muriel?
Go ahead, throw them at me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Muriel.
All right. Next, I'd like to invite Wayne Siegel back to the podium. And Commissioner Katz.
You're tough.
It's not easy being up here. Commissioner Katz, would you like to ask a question?
Sure. So if appointed to this position, would you be willing to publicly state, or will you express your position whether or not you intend to run in the March election?
I do not intend to run, and when I was served as commissioner before, I stated the same thing. I did not intend to run. I don't intend to run, and I agree with everything you said about that. In addition to which, it seems to me that someone who intends to run in this short period, they're going to spend their time campaigning and not really concentrating on the work of the city.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, Commissioner McCraig.
Thank you. Mr. Siegel, in regards to the question that I asked Muriel, can you answer those questions?
I'll do my best
Go ahead.
because, I was with Wilfred Hawkins when he came up with the Heart of Boynton, and I was supportive of it then. I'm supportive of it now. I believe development in the Heart of Boynton is actually going to benefit the entire city. So, yes, I'm behind advocating with the Heart of Boynton.
Answer the question, how many commission meetings have you attended?
Not as many as I should this past
Thank you,
year.
sir. Okay.
All right. Vice Mayor,
I have no questions. Thank you for your previous service, Mr. Siegel.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yep. Our next applicant, Amir Tyrone Pensergra. I'm sorry, if you could pronounce your name for me if I'm messing it up.
I go by Tyrone Penserga.
Okay, thank you, Tyrone.
To answer the first question, as a person who works in science, one of the very first things you'll learn is that don't try to fake it because people can see right through it. So yes, I fully intend to run for the office in the March of 2019. To answer the other question, am I privy to the details of the budget? The answer is no, I am not privy to the details of the budget. But I think my plan here is to use this experience, should I be appointed, to learn as much as I can. In terms of grand vision for Boynton Beach, as I mentioned before, I want to make sure that this is a place where people like myself will want to say, hey, I want to come back to Boynton. This should not be just a place where we live. It should be a place where we want to work, where we have high-paying jobs, and where we want to have fun. So that will be my priority, to work with all of you to make sure that we have investments, we have new businesses, and to attract that population to transform Boynton. Did I miss other questions? And on the number of meetings, I have not been to an in-person meeting, but I watch the meetings online on YouTube.
Hey, what are your purview on the Heart of Boynton, development-wise?
Like I said, I'm not going to fake it, so what I'm going to do is make sure I understand the details first before I come up with anything.
Okay, the next thing is you said that you wasn't up on the privy of, the budget itself, but it's published online, and I'm just saying, when you whether you watch it on TV or wherever you see us, I'm just saying when you hear spending money, I'm just saying, if you're going to be running, right. I will advise you kind of start watching the budget, sir, so that you can kind of, if you are elected, you would know what we're doing.
Absolutely.
This is not going to be on-the-job training, not where I'm looking at, because we're spending too much money.
I understand.
Thank you.
Can I mention one more thing? One of the things I really enjoyed about last meeting was that when I heard the sheriff, the officer discussed the grant for improving the technology in the police department. I think that is the way to go. We need to make ourselves a smart city, not a city of the past. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have Rick Maharaj, if you'd like to come back to the podium. So, seeing how we don't have any more questions, the first question was, do you plan on running for District 4 in March?
So I think that's a great question, and I will go on record by saying I have a deep interest and desire to serve, but I have not made a 100% decision at this moment.
Okay. The next question is that are you familiar with our budget?
Absolutely, and for the record, our budget, we have public workshops, we have budget meetings that everyone's in, come on down, check it out. You want to be involved with it. It's open, it's public information. You can view it on our city website. You can, I've personally been to the workshops, being involved with our CRA as a advisory board member. I've worked on pieces of our budget and bubbled up recommendations to our city staff. So any other questions in regards to the budget?
The next two questions are, how many city commission meetings have you attended?
I've attended countless city meetings, functions, memorials, internal city events, external, and as far as commission meetings, I've been to countless.
Right, and the last question is, what would you see if elected to do for the heart of Boynton Beach?
Yeah, so the intention is to create a beautiful downtown destination, right? And we want to attract millennials, build environmental sustainability, reasonable and responsible development, and just make Boynton Beach the great, beautiful place that it is, and progressively move it forward.
Thank you. Commissioner, is there any other questions? Yes, Commissioner McCray.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. I do want to say thank you for at least, attending the workshops on the budget. You heard our questions when we was going through this. That's what I'm saying. People are listening, and then just not like on-the-job training. You serve on the CRA board, and you know what is before us for the heart of Boynton. And I'm just saying, you do serve on the city board. I want to tell you thank you for serving on the city board, which is the CRA, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Seeing no more further questions, thank you. Next applicant, Amy Kelly, if you'd like to come to the podium. So our first question is, do you plan on running for District 4 in March?
I plan on running in March.
Can you please move the microphone a little bit down?
I do not plan on running in March.
Thank you. Our next question is, are you familiar with our budget for the 2018-19 fiscal year?
I am familiar with the budget from the Boynton Beach website.
Our next question is, how many city commission meetings have you attended?
Due to family scheduling, I have not attended the commission meetings. I have watched them on the Boynton Beach TV. Now my schedule is allowing me to be more of an active participant in the commission meetings.
Last is, if elected, what would you see moving forward in the heart of Boynton Beach?
To support community engagement and to continue to grow the neighborhood police outreach.
Any other?
Yes, my question for you, Amy, and you can answer it if you want to or not. Do you have any ties with an employee here in the city of Boynton?
I do.
Thank you. You answered my question. I'm good.
Thank you.
And our last applicant, Charles Cantor, would you like to come back to the podium?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to clear something up. I was under the impression that I would be running for the balance of Joe's term, which was 13 months, up until March 2020. If that's not the case, I have to rethink this, because I can understand you not wanting to train anybody for 3 months. So if I'm correct that it would be 13 months of service, no, I'm not correct?
Not correct.
Then in that case, I would like to push my support to Rick, and I will withdraw, because unless you have something else you want me to do, you're missing an awful... Well, I'm on the Parks Committee, and I work here, and you know how I feel about it. And Mac, let me say that I'm very much in favor and a lot of experience in both Freeport, New York, and Annapolis, Maryland, in gentrifying bad areas. So I can be a resource to you. And you guys are lucky to have him for a mayor.
Thank you. All right. So, Commission?
Let me make my
comments first, and then we'll go ask for everyone else. Yes.
Yeah, let me make my final comment. I'm just saying, I was under the impression for the 13 months, but with an election that's coming up, we have 3 seats, the mayor, and we have 2 other seats. That's going to be 3 seats that's coming up. I'm looking for someone who has experience, who can take this city where it needs to go, whether it's 3 months or 2 days. I'm just saying it's going to be a long run, and I don't know who's going to get elected, that's sitting up here, that's running for office, the 3 of you. But I'm just saying, I'm looking for someone with some experience that know what we want in the heart of Boynton, that's able to come up here, feet on the ground, saying, I am running, I am ready to serve, whether they're running for office or not. I'm looking for somebody who know what is going on here in this city. Thank you.
Commissioner Katz.
Yeah, so again, going along with my personal view that I would like to support one of the candidates who specifically stated they do not intend to run, and that's not to disparage people who intend to run. In fact, the fact that there were potentially 4 people, qualified individuals, who said they do intend to run or are thinking about it, I think is awesome, because the last election was unopposed, so to have 3 to 4 quality choices in that March election is exciting. With that being said, for me, only 2 applicants stated definitively they do not intend to run. Those applicants were Wayne Siegel and Amy Kelly. I think personally, in the interest of kind of sharing the wealth and the opportunity, I do thank and respect Mr. Siegel for his previous service as an interim in this position. And with that being said, my personal preference at this time would be to select Amy Kelly as the other individual who stated they do not intend to run, who has deep ties in the community, and I think would be an asset for this commission.
Vice Mayor?
Yes, I also do agree with Commissioner Katz in terms of I wanted to give somebody the opportunity to sit here for 4 months and also not give anybody a head start on the elections coming up in March. I know that there are several people who are interested in that, and we've seen that tonight, so I do appreciate all of you for your interest and your candor. I am grateful and glad that we now have enough interest in our city where we have young 30-year-olds and business owners and retirees who are willing to just give their time and give of their freedom, really, to just live their lives as they would, but instead to go into public service and to give back. So I do thank all of you who have shown interest and who plan to run in March, and I'd like to make sure that we have an even playing field when that election comes. That being said, I have no interest in appointing anybody who's shown interest that they plan on running in March, and so therefore that leaves the other candidates who still remain standing, with the exception of Mr. Cantor, who decided to pull out because he was not aware of the time for the appointment. So I don't know if Commissioner Katz is making a motion, but I would second his motion for appointing Ms. Kelly.
Okay. Yes, I'd like to also thank all of the applicants. I heard that this application was not an easy application. You guys all did a wonderful job filling out and getting involved. But there was a little bit difference in each of your speeches of the people that have been here coming to the meetings and the ones who have not come to the meetings. In addition, this is politics. You will become a public figure. The fact that someone can say something about you is no longer slander. You may be, someone can say whatever they want on Facebook, and there's nothing that you can, because you are a public figure. And, the courts have ruled that's you've, allowed yourself to be part of the public face. With that, there's some of you that I know very well, some of you that I probably will learn very soon of what you'd like to do in Boynton Beach, and I encourage everyone who is running for District 4 to continue on running. It's, because of what Wayne did, the 50% requirement, that's how I got elected, and I think that Boynton Beach is going to be better off whoever we select. That being said, coming into this, I saw what happened in Del Rey when they couldn't decide who that fifth member on the commission should be when Al Jaquette left. And so I always coming into saying whoever was first and second, that I would be for that person so that we can move forward as a full board. And so I'd like to thank you again for all those applicants. And I see that there's a couple hands raised now, so I will allow my other commissioners to speak. Yes, Commissioner Katz.
Yeah, I'd like to make the motion to appoint Amy Kelly to fill the duration of Commissioner Casello's term until the March election.
I'll second that.
All right. And Commissioner McCraig?
I need to speak.
Yes.
First of all, I am not going to be one to sit up here and say that I don't want someone who's going to run. I think it's an honor if you want to run and you get a chance to do 3 months or 6 months. I'm just saying, I think it's an honor. At least you'll learn. Maybe if you sit up here those 3 months, you might say, I don't want to run. And then I'm just saying, I'm not going to penalize anybody who said that they want to run and that they're looking to run. I feel like, It's just a fair game, because if the people want you, they'll vote for you, and if they don't, they will not.
Is there any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
The motion passes 3-1. Congratulations. And now we are, if you could please step back up to the podium for your swearing-in ceremony.
Before she's sworn in, I need to make sure I get some things straight from Shauna and Julie. I'm just saying there's reports that we will have to be turning in, and I'm saying in regards to being transparency, you know, even with when we have to report financials and everything, and people saying, you know, because they have ties with somebody, I'm going to go ahead and say who's on the police department, the address, will that be made available to the public? Because I'm just saying it's public information, full disclosure should be done.
No. No, it's an exemption.
It's a what?
It's the same exemption. It doesn't change.
It's the same exemption.
Correct.
The address, it's the same exemption. You don't lose the exemption.
For getting elected.
Yours is, it doesn't change just because she's appointed.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you all. I have problems with that. I'm just saying, you know, because whether, you know, Amy, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just saying anybody wants your address to go online and just get it anyway. I'm just saying, you know, so this is one of the concerns that I have sitting up here. I'm just saying that if you're exempted, you know, when you have to do state papers, et cetera, I want to make sure that I'm going to be looking to make sure that everything is fair and full disclosure. That's what I'm going for. I understand, Shauna, what you're saying. This is what Commissioner McCray said he's going to do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner McCray. So, Amy, while Judy's coming in to swear you in, is there anything you'd like to say?
I just want to say thank you, and just want to say thank you, and I'm looking forward to serving for the next 4 months, to get involved and learn a lot more about the city and the inner workings that, as a regular citizen, we don't normally get to see. So I thank you.
I need to have you raise your right hand, and you have to repeat the whole thing after me, okay?
Okay.
I, your name,
I, Amy Kelly,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States,
the Constitution and government of the United
the
States,
state of Florida,
the state of Florida,
and the city of Boynton Beach,
and the city of Boynton Beach,
that I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified
to hold office
to hold office
under the Constitution and laws of the state
under the Constitution and laws of the state
and the city of Boynton Beach,
and the city of Boynton Beach,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of Commissioner District 4
the duties of Commissioner District 4
of the city of Boynton Beach, Florida.
of the city of Boynton Beach, Florida.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, Amy, if you would like to take a seat, we are almost done the meeting. We have future agenda items,
Right into the action.
and then we
Right
can
into the action.
adjourn.
Since she has been appointed, you might as well come on, Amy, let all of us shake your hand. That's what we do to newly elected officials. Since nobody else knows procedure, I do.
Fist bump.
Far away.
Yeah, you're going to have to learn to wash your hands a lot. All right.
Mayor, may I make a comment?
Yes, you may.
I would like to welcome Amy Kelly to the board as our fifth member to fill in Joe Casello's seat. It does feel nice to finally have some more estrogen up here with me. I will say that much. So welcome aboard, Amy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner Kelly.
Commissioner Kelly, yes. At the special election meeting, I put on the item F of the future agenda to discuss the future of the Kapok tree. Colin informed me that we've already discussed that, but he did advise me that he will bring back the results of the new owner of the Kapok Trees decision. And if there's nothing else for future agenda items, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Before we adjourn, Mayor, I'd like to again wish everyone a very, very happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to everybody who's going out of town. Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Meeting adjourned.